For a session presented by MSC Cruises, please welcome the Executive Chairman of the Cruise Division of MSC Group, Pierfrancesco Vago, in conversation with Skift President Carolyn Kremins.
Hi. Hello, everyone. You brought your fan club here. I love it. Well, this is the first time that MSC Cruises has been on our stage, so welcome. For those of you that don't know, although I'm sure you do by now, MSC Cruises is a privately held, family-run company, and I actually did a little research and saw that the family had some seafaring roots that date back to the 16th century. So you know a thing about ships or two. Pierfrancesco, you came from the cargo side of the business, and you joined in 2002 to launch the cruise division. And now, I understand, if it's correct, you have 22 ships for MSC and 2 for Explora, and
23 and 2.
23 and 2, okay, I lost a ship there. But that's pretty aggressive. I mean, you think about it, that's like a ship a year almost. So my question to you is that there are a lot of ships in the sea. What made you, what was the white space? What was it that you were looking for to launch another cruise company? Where did you feel like there was an opportunity?
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for having me, Carolyn. It's an honor and a pleasure. MSC is the largest shipping company in the world. We operate in the excess of 1,000 cargo ships. We are a truly global operation, and that's our DNA. That's what we know. That's what we do. We live with the oceans, so whether it's cargo, whether it's passengers, whether it's fast ferries, we are also very big, large on ferries. We are the largest tug company in the world as well. So that has been our core business. In the old days, I don't know if you recall, there was a company, became famous because of a terrorist attack in the 80s. It was called Achille Lauro. I don't know if many of you remember. And the Lauro eventually was an Italian family. They had problems, and we helped them, and that's how we entered the cruise business. Obviously, we had 3 very old ships, and then we understood that the world had changed with cruising. On this side of the pond here, cruising became, what it is today. It was starting. It started with the monohull ships that was doing the crossing of the ocean. Then these monohull ships became experiences for holidays in the Caribbean. And then we started to build new platforms of ships. So we realized we had the 3 very old ships, and we realized that competitions was becoming stronger and stronger. And if you wanted to have a role also in this division on the hospitality side, we need to invest. And that's how we started in 2003. My boss, Mr. Aponte, who's the captain, that really today you go and meet him, he still speaks about propellers, instead of finance, because that's what he does. And I started becoming CEO, and then we had double-digit growth year on year where we are today. So
yeah, fantastic. Well, a great story, because you're now the 3rd largest cruise company in the world. So kudos to you. So who sails on your ship? And one of the reasons why I ask is back in the spring, I went on board the MSC America for the christening of the ship. And I walked onto that ship, and I never saw a ship that big. Like that ship is huge. I think just shy of 7,000 passengers. Is there such a thing as being too big to sail, or is bigger better? So if you can just talk about the kind of customer that comes on board and who you target.
Well, it's a very good question. First of all, you need to see where you operate. Obviously, in Europe, you have a limitation to the sizes of ships certain times because of the infrastructures, the port themselves. So you got to understand if you can have the width, the length. Sometimes you have bridges, you have a problem with the height. but it's obviously there's been an evolution with the platform, how we design these ships, on the experience that eventually we deliver to our clientele. So first of all, our clientele is becoming more and more multi-generational. So we have all ages, all different type of budgets. And the ships somehow, you know, with the transformation, with the technology, with the fun, you know, it's become somehow also a destination per se. So obviously it makes you wake up every day in a different port, in a different country, in a different experience. But the ship itself, during the day, during the evening, offers you so much. So every day you have a different entertainment per se.
Right.
Also, when you have a multi-generationals, somehow you create you know, where the passenger in this multi-generational, the segmentation of the population, they actually flow organically where they actually find themselves and where they actually find the entertainment that they want. So whether it's a family, whether it's older age, whether it's newlyweds, whether it's younger crowds, whether it's children, whether it's teenagers. So being bigger the platform, bigger the choice that you offer to the clients, to the experience.
Right, so there's something for everyone on board.
Yes.
So switching gears a little bit, because you have on one side a ship that is very large in scale, and then you launched Explora Journeys, which is only a few years old. And Explora Journeys is a very high-end luxury ship. I think you have 2 in the water and more to come. And so now you're catering to a totally different audience. And it was interesting because I was talking to a colleague of mine, and he was saying, oh, his parents are like anti-cruisers, but they went on Explora and they're booking like the next 3 cruises, that they had such an incredible experience. So like when it comes to this kind of a high-end luxury, I know I've heard from your team that you are very involved personally in a lot of the details. When you design a ship like that, like what does luxury look like today and for the future as you think of it in the ship terms?
Well, obviously there is an organic growth starting from the contemporary ship, which is the larger ship. We started to create very much like in the hotel, like an executive floor, which we called the yacht club. So we designed the hardware to have this deck, you know, with the best view in the bow of the ship, with the large suites, with butler service, the private pool, the private restaurant, the private spa, offering the opportunity to have a luxury, or call it a premium, with a large ship experience. So you have the privacy, and again, it was very good for the multi-generationals, you know, parents, grandparents, and children having fun. So there is obviously your clientele grows, gets better off eventually, you know, and there is an organic request from your own clients to actually say, okay, I want to have this experience, I want to have it more luxury, maybe I want to have also smaller ships because I want to go to destination off the beaten track. Obviously, certain size ships can only go to certain ports, to certain destinations. So there was a request for the clients to have you know, larger suites, more luxury in the experience, and to be able to travel to you know, more remote destinations. And to be very honest, I mean, I love, you know, I live in a landlocked country, in Switzerland, so I have a lake, but I miss the sea tremendously. And I have a boat, and I was there with my wife, and we were actually wondering, you know, our clients, you know, you live certain moments, when you are by the sea and you have this sunset, this horizon, you know, many ports in Europe, for example, were built, you know, in the old days, you know, to show the power of the country, of the state, it was shown from the water. So now we land with planes. But in the old days, you know, the arrival to certain ports, you see the grandeur of the city. So we wanted to actually give all this to our customers. And the luxury segment, it was very much always given with long journeys for a certain type of clientele, you know, let's be very honest, people that can actually afford to have long journeys is people that retire, they have the money.
Right.
And we wanted to actually offer to a wider audience. So we created the luxury of big suites, you know, and without really doing a bling bling, showing off, you know, the comfort, with a high service, extremely a choice of food. You know, luxury nowadays is, you know, the authenticity of an experience. So if you want a Japanese restaurant, it's got to be a Japanese, run by Japanese, and it is a Japanese restaurant. If you want an Italian restaurant, you want an Italian restaurant. So we actually designed this new platform, which is Explora, that is turned out to be a huge success, also because for the first time we're doing these open jaws, meaning embarking in one port and disembarking in another, that allows you in 7 nights to really travel and go off the beaten track, like I was saying. Right. And I'm very happy, and you know, it's the growth of the clientele. So contemporary, premium, and luxury, ultra luxury.
So are they younger? You mentioned it's like are they?
We see, you know, now that we actually, you can go on a cruise for 7 nights, you know, we broaden the spectrum. So younger people that don't have the 10 days to travel, that they want to go to Ibiza, to Saint-Tropez, to Monaco, to Capri, you know, now they can actually, they can go. Right. So we see that the age is also coming down tremendously. Right. The average is around about 40 years old, so.
Right, so you're expanding in age, and then also you're expanding, I mean, launching in America, you're European, you have European heritage, obviously. And we at Skift just did a cruise market study that was released last week. And it said 64% of all of the cruise revenues are coming out of the U.S. So I guess making it here, if you make it here in the U.S., right, then for this business, it's a good thing.
Make it here, you can make it.
Yeah, I don't want to break out into. Yeah, I don't want to break out in the song, but I thought it's fair, everyone. You take that European influence and you bring it to this audience. How have they responded to the European heritage, and what kind of things do you do to bring it to life?
Yeah. First of all, the success of cruising is because the incredible value for money that he offers as a vacation, okay, to the wider public, okay? So in order to reach that economies of scales, you need to have volumes, you need to have ships, you need to actually be able to save in running the operation so that you can be very competitive, you know, with the pricing to your clients. And we grew up in Europe, so we needed these economies of scales to reach a certain volume with the amount of ships in Europe. Once we reach that economies of scales, the penetration, possibly being the leader, MSC is the leading company, cruise company in Europe, obviously we looked at the United States. Because the United States, you know, there is a market for our product. So we are a global company, but I always say, you know, the fact that we are a family company, the fact that we are so dynamic and so hands-on allows us to become a local company. So, you know, whenever you offer an experience, you know, you have to always give the common denominator, which is the Mediterranean, the European, like you were saying, but then you have to always give the comfort zone to the canvas, to the geographical area that you're operating, whether it's in Northern Europe, whether it's Britain, whether it's the Mediterranean. And the same we did for the United States. We know that there is a market that loves that decoration, that experience, that fun, that diversity. Each brand has got their own identity, so we have our own. So there is a market for us. So we offer this European experience. We bring in all our know-how from the Mediterranean, exactly what we are, because we represent what we offer, because that's what we are. Right. But with an American comfort zone, and that's MSC World America was the perfect example. So you see the quality in the materials, in the furnishing, but again we pushed very much the entertainment, the fun, the shows, you know, so that Americans can actually have their comfort zone. Right. And it's proving to be very successful, so we're very happy.
Yeah, great. It sounds like you figured out how to strike the right note for that. You've also invested in your terminal. Is it common that cruise companies build their own terminals, or is that more common than not? In any case, I walked through that terminal. I mean, it was brand spanking new in Miami, and I mean, it was state of the art. Like, I mean, everything was biometric, everything was tech forward. Was it important for you to invest in your own terminal?
Yeah. Look, these ships are amazing pieces of technology. Okay. Today, I see Jason Liberty here, so he knows exactly what I'm saying. When we design ship, we design ships today that will be delivered in 5 years' time. You know? So we design the ship, and the ship we amortize more or less in 30 years. So it's an incredible exercise, almost intellectual exercise, to design something that will have to be actual in 2035, in 2040. So not only sustainability, because obviously that is, we have a commitment as an industry to arrive to net zero in 2050. So sustainability is something that we are totally on track, because we know that is the end result. But as well in the technology, in the experience, what will people eat? How will people enjoy? What is the comfort of a cabin? You know, in a world where we change our mobile phone every 6 months. So it's an incredible exercise. And the same goes into the terminal experience. The terminal is like an airport. But I mean, our customer, when they arrive to the terminal, is, I'm on holiday. You know, I've arrived. And they want a seamless, they want a easy experience so that they can embark and arrive to these beautiful pieces of technology. And so obviously terminals do play an important part. There is, you know, face recognition, so you want the people not to queue, you eliminate queue. Sometimes we hear the numbers of passengers that actually go into the ships, but you don't see them. You know, that's how we design. You know, you can mingle, but at the same time, you can have your privacy. So we don't want queue. We don't want to actually put any effort, any stress to the holiday. You arrive, and the terminal is already the welcoming. Right. And that goes into what we've done with the terminal in Miami. Yeah. And obviously, many ports around the world, you know, we work together with other, you know, as an industry, you know, to create this terminals to give the experience to our customers.
So is this a trend? Like, are you going to be, do you think, investing in more terminals as you go?
We are obliged, because obviously, you know, the customers become more and more demanding. They want to have more experience. And so we create in destinations, we create in terminals. You know, a home port like Miami, I mean, we got to turn around, let's say, 6,000 passengers embarking, 6,000 passengers disembarking, 12,000 passengers, 2 pieces of luggage each, 24,000 luggages. You want to do it within 5 hours, plus all the perishable, the food and beverage, the luggage, the consumables.
I have no idea how that is done. Have any of you ever experienced that? I went on a cruise once, and it's like, it blows my mind. And that to do it at that level of close to 7,000 passengers, like you pull in the port, and like the turnover time is so fast. And it's, wow, it's like a machine. It's incredible. Before we run out of time, I also want to talk, I know you also invested in your island. You have a private island, Ocean Cay. Tell us about what makes that island different or special than other islands.
Part of the cruise experience is, obviously, it's very important destinations. So we're more and more looking at destinations. So we all creating different destinations, different experiences. So you travel, you have the cultural part, the artistic part, but you also want the beach, the fun, the theme park in so many ways. Ocean Cay is in my heart in so many ways. You know, in 2016, I saw this rock. It was a dredging area for aragonite. In the Bahamas, there is this white sand that they use, this very fine sand that they use in the glassware industry, and also to replenish beaches and whatever. And what I found extremely interesting was that it was in shallow water, this rock, and obviously many years ago, nowadays they lock you up forever, they blew away the reef, you know, to have the barges going inside to dredge this aragonite. And immediately I saw the potential to actually enter with the big ship, go alongside, so that the ship can be the hotel, the residential part, and the island the experience, the beach, the entertainment, the food, surrounded by the sea. So Ocean Cay, it's been an incredible project because it was a rock and we redesigned, we replanted in excess of 700,000 plants. So we rebuilt an island. We created a paradise that was not there. And then obviously, you know, as a family, we have the MSC Foundation, you know, we live by the ocean, so we have a great respect. I met an incredible man, Frank Mars, from the Mars family, and he started telling me about the reef, the issues of reefs. There is no one reef today that is intact on the globe Earth. And without reefs, there is no life, there is no oceans. So he actually introduced me, and on Ocean Cay I saw the opportunity also to do an incredible biology center, you know, to tell the story to all our customers. So Ocean Cay is very special. And
well,
now we're doing another second island, so we're working together with the Miami University. We have students, the Bahamian, BAMSI, everybody that is working on the restoration. MSC. Mangrove, seagrass, and coral. That's how I want to call it.
Excellent, excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us. It was a great conversation.
I
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.